Ahoy, and welcome aboard Nautical Tales and Nature Trails, recreation in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. I'm Will Morrissey, and I'll be your host as we explore the region. My wife, Bridget Morrissey, helps a lot of people find their way around, and she's always going up and down the coast from Old Lyme to Charlestown, Rhode Island. She zigzags from Mystic to Mashantucket up to Uncasville. She's all over, and she knows a lot of different places that we can go to. There's all kinds of attractions in the area, and there are a lot of people moving into the area. We got a lot of people coming in to build submarines. We got the brave souls that drive the submarines. There's students coming in all the time for UConn and Avery Point, Mitchell College, Connecticut College, and the cadets at the United States Coast Guard Academy, as well as a lot of visitors coming to see us. And even the people that live here don't know all the different things that you can go to. So we're going to keep going around the area, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a lot of photography. We've got photos, we've got a lot of things that we want to show you, and especially from our website, not our website, but our Facebook page, Mystic to Westerly. We have a top contributor, and that happens to be Harold Hanka, as he's known on Mystic to Westerly, but he is a top contributor. He's a photographer for the Westerly Sun, and as a local photographer, he is kind of responsible for capturing a range of events and stories in the community, from local sports and public events to significant happenings and human interest stories. And these photographers that work for papers, they have a keen eye for moments that encapsulate what's going on in the area. So Harry has put together quite a few different photos for us, and let's take a look at some of the ones he did over at Misquamicut and Watch Hill. Now he likes to catch the guys that are going surfing, and it's hard to believe that we're not looking at California right now, but we're looking over at Westerly. Every once in a while we got a storm that comes in that really brings the waves, but we have quite a few people that like to surf in the area. And these are shots that are just taken just down the road from where I'm sitting right now. You can see how the water churns up and lets the surfers go do their craft and have a good time. And it's a place to learn how to surf. I mean, you really have to know what you're doing. I was a lifeguard for 4 years in Hammonasset down in Madison, but I never got on a surfboard. You really have to have some good balance there. These guys really seem to know what they're doing, but you have to learn. You know, sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so good. But you get back up, and you do it all over again. Again, these are all taken at over in Westerly. This is, just east of Watch Hill Lighthouse, and over by Misquamicut Beach. And there's a sport that a lot of guys like to take part in. And we really appreciate Harry taking these photos and putting them up so that you can see them. Yep, the waves come in and these guys take advantage of it. We're going to be moving on from this in a minute, but as you can see, it looks like it's time for this guy to go home. And they do. You can see the Watch Hill Lighthouse in the background in the upper right-hand corner there. So I'm not making this up. This isn't California. This is local. But we go from there to scenes around New England. Now, we're so lucky to be in this part of the country because we have a change of seasons. We have the fall. We're just coming through the change of color of all the leaves. We'll be going into the holiday season, and we'll have snow on the ground. We'll have the trees coming back and the plants coming back, and it's summertime. I have all the things like we just saw. But let's take a look at what's going on around southern New England. We've got some pictures here. This is what we'll be seeing pretty soon. That was over in Wilcox Park in Westerly. But I mentioned the Coast Guard Academy before. You see the bark eagle in the background there. We've had Project O on the show before, and we're going to go in and talk a little bit more about that later in this show. But this is what a lot of people like to do. It's fishing in southern New England. And if you want to get out to New York, you can hop on board the ferry, Crosstown Ferry, and you can also catch a ferry for Block Island or Fisher's Island out of New London. We got the library over in Westerly. We've had the Mystic and Noank Library on the show here, as reading is a big part of what you do for recreation. But like I said, there's so much to do in southern New England, and it's just a beautiful place to be. There's all kinds of flowers and animals to see. There's all kinds of boating opportunities. There's, just beautiful sights in the area. Now we got a full moon over Watch Hill here. Just so much going on. Now, a lot of people like sailing. We've got all kinds of sailing regattas that go on, from the small boats like these to the larger ones. And then we have parades throughout the year. And the Mystic Parade, we have this one is in Stonington Borough, the Mystic Irish Parade. We've got all kinds of things for people to do. And we're just, again, so fortunate to be living in this part of the country. I'd like to go on and show you something else. There's a lot of people that like to do something called bird watching, and I'm sure some of the people watching right now are into ornithology. That's the study of birds. And there's so many different varieties in the area. I've heard something like 160 different varieties get checked out over at Barn Island every year. They do these things where they count birds. That's got to be a tough job to do, counting all the birds that are flying around. But they have all kinds of varieties that go on. And we've got, again, we're thankful to Harry. He's a top contributor for the Facebook page. And we've got some pictures of the birds. So let's take a look. The birds of southern New England. We've got great blue herons. We've got egrets. Got a lot of shots of the egrets here. They're a majestic bird, aren't they? See this one coming in for a landing? And it's stretching out a little bit, but it's so beautiful. And a lot of these pictures are taken either at Winnapaug Pond or over at Pawcatuck River. Got a lot of different ones. Got the mallards flying away. Again, the egrets up in the trees or down in the water. Harry does a fine, fine job at catching just the right shot. Got a couple blue herons in the background there. I want this rock. The birds are always chasing each other off of different rocks. Now we got three different ones here. We got a cormorant in the foreground there, an egret. Here we got another egret with a young one. And coming back to the nest. Oh, it looks like some young ones are hungry. So that must mean it's getting close to lunchtime. Yeah, definitely time to eat. They're all standing up waiting. Again, a lot of different birds. And we're just so fortunate to be living here. Got the geese that like the beach. Sometimes they like the park, the grasslands of the park. And we got some small ones, some other ones that are waiting to eat. But Mom will take care of them. Now look at these turtles. They're not birds, but they were just glad the birds weren't on the rock at that moment. Now you got to watch this one seal that's sneaking up here, right? The one in the middle of the picture. He's rolling around there chasing the last bird away, and then where did the birds go? Well, I'll tell you where they went. They're all flying away from the bird chaser. Again, that's kind of fun to get out and, take your binoculars or take your camera and go take some pictures of the birds of the area. You can also go over to New London, the Audubon Society, the Torrey Peterson Preserve over there. They've got a lot of different places where they can start to teach you about what's going on with all the different species of birds, where you can go to, to hike and take your own pictures if you'd like. Again, there's just so many places in the area, but that's right downtown, well, right close to downtown Old Lyme, right on Route 1, the Audubon Society. But we can move on. We've got some other pictures that I'd like to show you. We've got that Harry took. We're going to go for a little walk, and we're going to look at some tiny creatures. Yes, we're going to look at some bees. He loves taking pictures of these smaller insects, and the bees are important. They are the ones that do the pollination. They have a lot of agricultural benefits because a large part of the global food chain depends on pollination done by the honeybees. You can see that there's colorful. They like getting on all the different kinds of flowers. And they've got environmental indicators where they can tell you about the health of the environment. The change in bee health can signal broader ecological issues like the effects of pesticides, climate change, and habitat loss. When I say habitat loss, it means that there is less room for the wild to live. Looking at a wasp here, it's amazing what's happening to the environment, with the encroachment of us, of people. We've got to let the spiders weave their circular webs. That's kind of nice when you get a little dew on them and you can get a nice picture. We got red bugs here. They also help out with the pollination. I was talking about the dew a little while ago. Harry gets these close-ups that are just amazing. And we got a cicada here, a little grasshopper. We're going to see him about to get ready to have breakfast here. Now this is a zebra butterfly. Zebra longwing, I think they call this one. Colorful, colorful, colorful. And everybody has these flying around their backyard, the monarch butterfly. Now this is a program that has been gaining popularity. No April, No May, No Spring. I mentioned before that the environment is getting encroached. 2% of all the land is lawns. Your front yard. And if you get out there and you mow right away at the beginning of the season, you're interrupting the change that the bugs have to go through, especially the bees. Any of these bugs that are doing the pollination for us, we really have to be thinking about what we're doing to the environment early in the spring. So if you can hold off on mowing your lawn, you saw that No Mow April, No Mow May, No Mow Spring, or Low Mow Spring, it helps for all of these bugs to just to live, just to get their season going again. They've been dormant all winter and they need to get going, but it's kind of tough if we're, mowing the lawns and running them over and cutting them up before they get a chance to grow and start pollinating, so the pollination process. So that's kind of neat. Now we've got I mentioned earlier before, but we've got a couple of programs that we've already done here. One of them was mentioned, it was Project O, but we also did, the last one was Avalonia, with all the different land preserves that they're doing. There's a lot of conservation going on with Avalonia, and they have a lot of trails that they're opening up to the public, but they're doing conservation. That's the big thing. We're looking to take land and make it available for people to walk on, make it available for the habitats of all the different species out there, all the different animals and insects and everything. And so let's just review what we did with Avalonia last week. We've got a video here for you.
Long before you found this place, and long after you leave, you dream about it. Forests of oak and evergreens, fields of waving goldenrod, and blue-green oceans powered by wind and waves. It is our deep connection to nature that defines us. Within Avalonia, we are sustained by healthy soil, clean water, and something more. It is here that we grow our sense of curiosity and cultivate a relationship with something larger than ourselves. As caretakers, we are guided by our promise to protect and preserve. We manage its wildlife habitats and save its fragile ecology to ensure they are not lost. We do this for future generations, so they can experience the untamed beauty and wonder of being outside. Our land preserves wind their way throughout southeastern Connecticut, and many are closer than you think. Step off the streets of Mystic and explore our many trails near the shoreline. Or go deep into the woods of North Stonington, Ledyard, or Preston, and find a place to call your own. We invite you to connect with Avalonia, to wander and explore. And when you, like us, are moved by the resilience, force, and fragility of this place, you can help. Become rooted to what calls to you. Avalonia.
Now, I've talked about Hanka and his photography, but we've got a contest coming up. There are some big events about to unfold in the area. Next week, we've got Santa Comes by Tugboat to Mystic, and we've got the tree lighting, and we've got the lighted boat parade. We also have, if you take a look around, you're going to see some notices about the lobster trap tree that's being built as we speak. It looked like they got the shell put up yesterday, but that will be coming back. That's getting worldwide notice as one of the most impressive Christmas trees going, where they take all the lobster traps in Stonington, down at the docks in Stonington, and they build it's like a giant igloo and fill it with holiday lights. And you got a line to get inside and get your picture taken and, have a good time. But there is as I just mentioned, the holiday lights boat parade and the tree lighting ceremony, and Santa Comes by Tugboat into Mystic. And there's a contest going on. So why don't we take a look and see what's going on with Santa Comes by Tugboat to Mystic. That's right, he comes in Saturday, November 25th, Santa Claus is coming to town, and so is Mystic's Holiday Lighted Boat Parade in historic downtown Mystic. The Christmas tree lighting will begin at 6 o'clock, and shortly after that, the boat parade will follow. It's becoming quite the tradition, with people coming down to hang out and take a look at the boats parading down the Mystic River. And that's put on by the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. So if you're interested in participating, contact Bruce Flax at mysticchamber.org, and you can get your boat in the parade. It's a great parade, and they really do a nice job lighting up all the boats, to get ready for the parade. Now, I got to point out something about Mystic, and I'm not quite sure everybody knows it, but it's coming up here. We're going to show you a picture of the Mystic River going through downtown Mystic. Now, we're looking at Mystic on the Stonington side of the river. Now, Mystic has a post office, but Mystic doesn't have a town hall, because now we're looking at the Groton side of Mystic. So if you're going to be able to get down to this show, you might want to bring an unwrapped toy for the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center so that we can take care of folks. But there's a contest going on. You could submit your photos to the facebook.com/groups/Mystic to Westerly by 6 o'clock on Sunday, November 26th. And for every picture that's put in, if somebody likes it or comments on it or shares it, you get points. And the prize for all three categories, Santa Arrives by Tugboat or Mystic Tree Lighting or the parade, one will get one of the books that you're seeing here today. The announcement will be on Thursday, November 30th, when we have the tabulation, when we have all the votes counted up, and we'll be able to share the joy of the season with you. So I hope you're able to get down to the show and check it out and submit your photo and have your friends vote on it for you. Now we're back to looking at nautical tales and nature trails. We just saw some pretty cool nature trails at the Avalonia parcels that they take care of. But we also had Andrew Ely from Project O come in and make a presentation a few weeks back. And I'd like to go back over that for his nautical tale was something to see. So here's Andrew explaining Project Oceanology.
Project Oceanology was started with a consortium of 14 public schools in southeastern Connecticut who are interested in using the ocean as a way of teaching students on the shores of Long Island Sound, and it seemed like an ideal outdoor laboratory for kids.
Project Oceanology spends just all of its time getting kids out of the classroom, out into the environment, experiencing things. That education leaves a lasting impact. It's very memorable.
The instructors here at Project O are enthusiastic and knowledgeable, and they are the ones who make Project O the lively learning experience that it is.
When you go out on the boat and you hear the kids when the animals first come on board and they're working with them, the level of excitement is wonderful. You teach the kids about the environment in the environment. You weren't in the classroom. They're getting wet, they're getting cold, they're handling everything.
Project O is making a difference in our community. What we do is amazing and it's unique. Project O's mission is really to get kids interested and involved in science and our marine environment. And so these youth that we're working with on a daily basis, they're the leaders of tomorrow. They're the community members, they're the decision makers, and they're the stewards of our land. So that's a tall order, but we're up for the challenge here. And that spark you see when kids get out there, out in the field, out on the water, there's nothing like it.
Over the years, I've met a lot of people who have come to Project O, and they remember this is an experience that was really one of the key experiences of their school years, to see the marine life or test the water quality or get the samples of the bottom muds. These are all a chance to really get to have a firsthand experience with Long Island Sound and with science.
The experiences that students and summer campers here have at Project Oceanology, it can change their lives. We've seen people who have come here and found something that they're passionate about, and they take that and they pursue a career, an entire education.
I was always someone that was excited about science, but to really get firsthand experience and get out on boats and understand, okay, we're studying the ocean, what are we actually studying? For me, Project Oceanology was really a great first step in my scientific career. Not only are we building like strong young scientists, but we're also getting students just interested in the climate. The best thing about Project Oceanology is that it brings all different types of ocean sciences together in a really digestible way to students of all ages.
I love the impact that the programs here at Project O have on our participants. I love the fact that we create joy and positive experiences and educational opportunities for people of all ages. For 50 years, Project Oceanology has been educating kids, been teaching them about the marine environment, and we've been doing that with the support of schools who are members and with competitive grant funds and with some donations from generous folks here in the community. To keep doing the work that we're doing, we need support. We need to be able to keep our boats going. We need to be able to keep buying the latest equipment for our classrooms and our labs so that we're relevant and that we're preparing kids for the fields of tomorrow.
We are so thankful to Project O and Avalonia for all the work that they've done. We've also had, on this show, we've had the submarine base, the library and the museum. Those are two places that are very big in taking care of all the sailors in the area. But the museum is open to the public, and you can get on board the Nautilus too. So that's something that's worth going to. We've had Mystic and Noank Library on the show. We've had Groton Open Space Association on the show. And we're really thankful for all the work that all these different organizations do to save the environment for us. You know, but we're looking forward to all the fun things that go on too. And we're looking forward to next week when Santa arrives by tugboat. So I hope you're going to be able to take some pictures and get them in and get into the contest. You know, just to remind you, we've got the contest is next Saturday, and the voting is through Sunday. So make sure to get your pictures in and get your friends to like, comment, and share your pictures. And next week's show, we're going to have the president of the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. We have Bruce Flax coming on board to help us let you know who won the contest. So again, it's Will Morrissey. My wife, Bridget, has been running around telling me time and doing the camera checks and everything. She's here. We both wish you the best on your nautical tales and nature trails. We'll see you next time.